How you doing, Seminole fans and fans of other teams? How you guys doing out there? Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, and Happy Kwanzaa if that's what y'all celebrate. I hope everybody, enjoyed themselves. So, here we are, about a week out from the Florida State Oregon game. Now, there's one Oregon fan on here. His name is DJ David. He's an Oregon fan. He's a Duck fan or whatever. And he's predicted his team to win. No surprise there. I mean, why wouldn't I expect a fan to predict his team to win? All right, so let's just go through this game. All right, so now the matchup that everybody's going to talk about is Marcus Mariota versus Jameis Winston. But here's the thing. The more of the matchup is more so Marcus Mariota versus FSU secondary and Jameis Winston versus Oregon secondary because, they are playing, but they're never going to be on the field at the same time together. Now, first of all, I'm kind of sad to hear, and I wish my best wishes for their cornerback, Ifo Ekpre-Olumu. That's a tragedy. We don't want to see anybody get hurt before this game. I want Oregon at full strength. I don't want any excuses. I don't want, anything like that. I feel like we would have beaten them before Ifo went out. I still feel we're going to beat them even with Ifo out. That would have been a good matchup between him and Rashad Green because both of them are going to be in the NFL. Rashad Green has the chance to break FSU's all-time career touchdown record. He's one of the greatest receivers that's ever been in Florida State, and it would have been great for, Ifo Ekpre-Olumu to go up against Rashad Green and test how good his corner skills are. But now here's the thing. A big thing that a lot of people are going to say is that Florida State can't run the ball. And if you say that Florida State can't run the ball, you have not watched the last 4 games. You have not watched the last 4 games, and you have not seen Dalvin Cook just turning into an absolute freak of a man-child who just, you give him like one lane, and it's just gone. Our offensive line now is just ridiculous. Our offensive line, since the Miami game, has given up 2 sacks. And that's attributed to our left tackle, Cam Irving, being selfless and moving to center as a 5th-year senior, moving to center and having our our true freshman Rod Johnson move to left tackle. Since that's happened, our our offensive line has been opening up holes. It has just been ridiculous, and Jameis Winston has all day to throw. So I'm just going to tell you right now, unless Oregon brings pressure, there is just no way with their front 4 that they're going to be able to get to Jameis Winston. So they're going to have to bring pressure. Now, with that being said, they're not going to be able to load the box and stack the box against Dalvin Cook and be able to stop him. If you stack 8 in the box and then you leave Jameis Winston with man-to-man coverage, it's going to be a laser show all night. Now, on that same aspect as well, too, I will say, flip that over on our defensive side. Now, I'm not going to make an excuse. Our defense this year has not performed up to the level that what us Florida State fans would have liked us to have it perform to, especially our secondary. Our secondary has just kind of been a little bit of a disappointment, and I will readily admit that. But here's what Seminole fans we are banking and we're holding our head to is that we've had 3 weeks. We're getting healthy. We're getting Niall Lawrence Stample back on the defensive line, and that is a big help because Eddie Goldman has pretty much had to play in the entire game by himself because we just don't have like any viable depth at defensive tackle. Derek Nottie, he's okay, but he's definitely a step down. DeMarcus Christmas, he's okay, but he's definitely not he's not in the class of a Niall Lawrence Stample. Keith Bryant's not ready. Derek Nottie, he's good, but he needs a couple more. Derek Mitchell has stepped up as well as he could, but Derek Mitchell is playing out of position. He's more of a rush defensive end than he is a defensive tackle. But he's done an amiable job for the most part. So getting Nye Lawrence Stample back for this game is huge because one of our big areas that we've been weak at is right up the middle. So Nye Lawrence Stample being back is definitely a big help. Our linebackers have been banged up all season. Reggie Northrup has pretty much had to go all by himself. Terrence Smith has been battling knee injuries. He had a sprained neck or whatever. So hopefully this gives them the time to get healthy now. EJ Levenberry he's been battling injury, but he was ineffective while he was in as well too. So EJ Levenberry probably needs to move back to his original spot of safety, not linebacker, because it's just not been that good with EJ Levenberry playing there. But I really feel like our defense is going to be much improved. Now, with that being said, I still feel like Oregon is talented enough offensively to where they're going to score points. Marcus Mariota, we don't have to speak about him. The dude's great. He's probably going to, if he decides to leave, he's probably going to be a first-round quarterback. However, I just don't feel like he's ever faced a defense like ours. Now, that's not saying that he's not going to have a good game. I still feel like Marcus Mariota is going to have a good game. And I doubt that he'll turn the ball over. He hasn't been really turning the ball over that much. But I just feel like it'll be mostly on him. Royce Freeman, I think he's a good back. Personally, I feel like Dalvin Cook is a little bit more explosive and a little bit of a better back than Royce Freeman is. Now, a lot of people will look at the numbers and say, well, Royce Freeman has 1,200 yards rushing, Dalvin Cook has 900 yards rushing, and that's because Dalvin Cook realistically did not become our starter until about maybe the Notre Dame or Louisville game. So 6-7 games into the season. And Dalvin Cook over the last couple of weeks has just been on fire. That kid is a freak. That kid is a man-child. He's just ridiculous. And I think the next year he has a potential to become one of the best backs in the country. But Royce Freeman will probably get a few. This is going to be an offensive game. Our defense I feel like will make just enough stops. I feel like Oregon will make a couple of stops, but I don't feel like they'll make enough stops on this offense. These guys are hungry. Like, they're ready to go out and they're ready to go, take this and go on to Pasadena. They got us as a 9-point underdog, and that's going to fuel our guys, because I'm going to tell you right now, even Oregon fans will agree that that's a little bit too much of a spread. Now, a lot of you guys are picking us to get blown out. You guys feel like we're weak and all that other stuff, and that's fine. I'll be going to this game. I have tickets to this game, so I look forward to and will enjoy watching this game, and hopefully we can take it back. My score prediction is that Florida State comes out with a victory, 38, Oregon 31. So 38-31 is what I'm predicting. FSU wins by a touchdown, goes on to Dallas, and we will face either Ohio State or Alabama in the national championship. I don't care about that game right now. I'm focused completely on Oregon. I feel like this is our time to prove something. I feel like FSU, we've been disrespected all season by the media, by the college football committee, by all the talking heads and everything like that. And now it's time for us to prove that we are number one. It's time to show that this freaking game control metrics and all this bullshit is fraudulent. It's time for everybody to stop dogging the ACC, even though the ACC has, over the past 2 seasons, had more success than any other conference in the Power 5, but yet and still the ACC is still getting disrespected. The ACC is still getting dogged. Everybody still calls us a weak-ass conference, even though we're namely called by the SEC a weak-ass conference, even though we beat the SEC in the national championship last year. Freaking ended the BCS run of the SEC last year. Then this year, the ACC went 4-0 versus the SEC in the rivalry week games. But then now the SEC comes out and makes all these excuses and everything like that. So it's time for Florida State to go out, not only for Florida State, but for the ACC, and to forever prove that there is football that is played in other parts of the country or whatever. Me as a Florida State fan, I'm sick and tired of being disrespected. I'm sick and tired of everybody calling us weak. I'm sick and tired of everybody saying that, we're not that good. I'm sick and tired of everybody discounting our winning, like one of the longest winning streaks in NCAA history in 29 games, and making it seem like, oh, well, you guys play in the ACC, it's easy to win 29 games, when 127 other teams in the country didn't even win all their games this year, but we've won all of our games this year, last year, and we won our last 2 games in 2012. But everybody just discounts that and just makes it seem like, oh, it's just so easy to win 29 games, when in actuality, it really isn't. It really, really, really isn't. So it's time. I'm ready. I'm ready for this game. I'm ready to go out there and prove our merit. Our motto all season has been Dallas to Dallas. We are 1 game away, boys. 1 game away. Dallas to Dallas. Let's go take what's ours. Go Noles.